Hey guys, you already know the drill. It's just my POV, and I'm PearlCardy.
And I'm Kelvin.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, let's dive into the topic of today. I believe that by now we all know what personality is all about, right? So when it comes to someone's personality, do you think the parents play a major role in making or breaking someone? It's like your personality is like that distinct character you have that sums you up as a human being,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And in the course of growing up, so many kids have like their parents maybe make them not to do certain things or make them not express themselves in the way they would have loved to express themselves. You understand? So that makes them look funny in one way or the other, or maybe not, you
How?
know?
How does that
Or
make them
maybe
look funny?
not. But do you think that like people's parents play a role in determining what one's final personality is going to be like?
Whether your parents affect your growth, yes, they do, because that's why they're your parents. They're supposed to bring you up, teach you what to do,
Yeah.
what not to do, and what not. Now, if your parents have said to you, "Oh, don't go to this place," it's probably to save your life. So, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, obviously. But then, in terms of personality, they can influence, the way that you do things, but not your
Yeah.
personality because it's your personal decision.
So there are people who are insecure about certain things, right? So we're talking about people who are actually insecure. And I'm trying to talk about how parents play a major role
In their
in making some
insecurities.
people insecure, some people not as expressive. Do you
And you
understand what I
think that it's
mean?
parents that cause it. That's so weird.
Most of the time, most of the time.
Your parents wouldn't cause you to be insecure.
Yeah.
It's if you have like it's in fact, why are you even talking about insecurities when you're talking about
Their
personality and
personality.
character?
Yeah, people who
So
are, I'm talking about
so
people who don't get to express themselves enough as a result of bad parenting.
that's what I'm saying. Exactly. It has to be bad parenting because
Yeah.
a good parent is not trying to make you small or make you hide or anything like that. A good parent is just trying to show you the path to which you can achieve your goals, to be honest. So when you like ask the question in such an open way, it's kind of confusing. But if we're speaking about bad
Bad
parenting,
parenting.
that's really just bad parenting. And
Yeah.
it really affects children a lot. Like everyone, even all of us as adults, we're all going through something. And it's not necessarily from bad parenting. It is just from our experiences, like our traumas. Do you really, really think that your traumas are the reason for your personal character? So basically, that's how the
Yeah. So
question
it's
goes.
all related to like character development over the years as you're growing, right? I feel like certain good and bad experiences you have molds you into being the person you are. Using myself as an
Absolutely.
example, I don't think there's anything anybody is going to tell me in my ear that can ever break me. But I know that
Truth.
there are so many things I can tell you that's going to shatter you into pieces.
Okay, so are
And
you trying to say, because now back to what we
yeah,
were saying, where you were saying that when parents say things to their kids and then it
yeah,
affects them and da da da.
yeah.
So is there anything that your parents have said to you that have
Um
now make you an introvert or an
an
extra like
introvert, no. Now
exactly.
this particular thing I'm saying is related to a particular person, right? So I have this friend who spoke to me over the phone and talked about how there are certain things his parents did while he was growing up, and these things have made him not free enough to bring up his ideas in like
Okay,
round
so
tables and all
okay,
of that.
okay,
So
okay, okay,
yeah.
okay. Okay, so now I get it. So in a home where maybe like parents are more conservative, and then you have a kid
Mm-hmm.
who has all these ideas and wants to do
Yeah.
so many great things. Now, when a parent of such is bringing up a child of such, what
Yeah.
would happen is the parent is unaware of the ideas that are in that child and is unaware of the possibilities or how to handle it, because
Yeah.
they themselves haven't lived that sort of life where they can now give you advice. Oh, if this
Yeah.
happens, this is what you're going to do. If this other thing happens. So it's not really, even in that case, we won't even call it bad parenting, because the parent is doing the most that they
That
can
they
based on
know they
what they
can
know,
do.
based
Yeah.
on what they know and what they've learned and their own life experiences. A person cannot teach you what they don't know themselves. I
Yeah.
cannot come to you and sell you an idea that I'm completely oblivious of, you get.
Yeah.
So in that case, you wouldn't call it bad parenting. You would just say that, okay, maybe such influences have now made that child decide to hold on. But a kid never really holds back, because kids do whatever they want to do. Either they do it from during their
Well,
teenage years, or they do it during their young adult years. They argue with you, they tell you things that you know is absolute crap, but you're just like, oh my goodness, let me just try and manage this child. So, to be honest, hence the reason I don't feel
yeah.
that any parent has the power to be able to determine a child's
It's
character,
personality. Yeah.
personality. They can influence how you handle things or how you do things because of maybe like routine and
Yeah.
religion and childhood, but not like your character. Your character is yours.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you on that. I feel like no matter how horrible a parent is, I mean, as somebody who is a human being with like a working brain, like I'm not even saying it to be shady or anything. Like as a human being with a working brain, you're going to experience all of these things. It's also a phase, right? So you're supposed to pick the sense from it and leave the rest out of it, and then you grow into who you're going to be. I feel like even if your parents are the craziest set of human beings on earth, of course trauma can hit both ways, right? But you should be able to find your ground, and I don't think that also influences your personality. If you're an outgoing person, if you're a loud person, if you're introverted, if you're any of these things, I feel like is you. Is not because you want to be that person. I'm a fine balance of an introvert and an extrovert, right? I have my time. And I don't think any life experience made me to be like
Exactly.
this.
So that
You
was why when you
understand?
asked
So,
that question, I'm like, no, that doesn't, parents
yeah.
don't influence your character. It doesn't.
Yeah, if you
But
born
then,
Chris
but
Pekin, your
then they
Pekin is
choose. Your
mad.
kids always do whatever they want. Your duty as a parent is just show them the right path, teach them right from wrong,
Yeah.
teach them how to at least have a conscience. And then the rest, you just leave down for God, in my own opinion. But then this now takes me to the next question, which was what I wanted to ask. Do you think that trauma or your childhood traumas
Yeah.
are responsible for your mental state, or do you just lack accountability? It has nothing to do with your
No,
emotions.
I'm responsible for
It has
my
nothing to
mental
do with.
state. I'm responsible for it.
So
I don't like accountability. As a matter of fact, everything everybody did or anybody has done to me, I feel like as a human being, you should be in control of who you are. You know, I channel my mind to where it's supposed to be, which is peace, serenity, enjoyment. For real.
so personally, I just think that a lot of people misunderstand what these childhood traumas
Yeah.
are, and how it affects you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not trying to say that childhood traumas are not a bad thing. They are usually very chaotic. It's
Yeah.
like it's a trauma, it's a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
So it definitely is something that's thrown you off. But the way that a lot of people see it is more around, oh, this situation really made me now have this bad thing about me. But personally, I know that there's something negative that you pick out of it, but there's
Yeah.
always a lesson. And that lesson is actually what helps you to continue with life going forward. So
Yeah.
when you have these childhood traumas, it teaches you to be able to recognize a pattern that you know you are not going to deal with or that leads to disaster.
Yeah.
So then these traumas actually teach you and guide you. It's like giving you some sort of shield, armor,
Yeah.
bullets. It's just putting you together to go through the journey of life rather than
Yeah.
seeing it as something that is so negative and is so bad. You can look on the bright side because everything that happens with you comes with a lesson. Everything. And if you're unable to pick out the lesson when it happens the first time, trust me, it's going to happen again and
Yeah.
again and again until you learn your lesson. So the
Yeah.
idea is to pick up the learning from the situation or the experience
Yeah.
and then move forward. So it's kind of like a guideline. I
Mm-hmm.
know that it's at the time when it's happening, it feels like, oh, death. What am I going to do? But it really isn't half as bad. And in terms
Yeah.
of like your mental state, I also think that your past traumas give you a balance. Here's for instance, growing up, your parents always tell you, oh, be good, be generous, give people, always be helpful. But then
Yeah.
there are some people that you go and help and you get yourself inside into one
One
kind of
big
problem
problem.
that you can
Yeah.
never come out of or that you never recover from. Now, these traumas are the things that now help you to know that people out there, they don't really get you nice for mind.
Yeah.
You get me? It's like you always have to wake up and have like these armors. And I think that these are your traumas,
Yeah.
personally.
I figured out that these days, a lot of people like to dwell in
Yeah.
their traumas. They love to give an excuse as to
That's why I
why
said lack
something is going to
accountability.
be this way or that way, forgetting that crazy things are going to happen to everybody. Like, if you're going to sit there and tell me that it's because of someone was acting this way or that way, or it's because someone raped you, so now you are a rapist, or that is very stupid because as I would always repeat this thing, as a human being, you should be able to control everything that is happening to you. These things, like she said earlier, they're supposed to be like lessons for you. If you go through a bad experience, you're supposed to pick out certain things that you did that made you to land in that situation and, come up with a plan so that doesn't happen again because it will happen again and again.
So while we were speaking on the topic
Yeah.
about, traumas and childhood traumas, how it affects your mental state,
Mm-hmm.
I was also going to like finally speak about healing
Yeah.
because the thing about healing is it's such a journey that and it's a personal one that is
Yeah.
not identical with someone else's. So my
Okay.
journey is different from yours and
Yeah.
your healing, process is different. Now, before you even get to the healing, you need to be accountable for everything that happened to you and why it
Yeah.
happened to you. There's something about life, like nothing just comes to you and just jumps and appears in your front. There are
Right.
a series of events and a series of things that you
That
might
played
have
into
done
it
that
happening.
caused that thing.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of us lack accountability for
Our actions.
that caused the problem
I
because
feel
there's
you.
always
Yeah.
an action that you orchestrated by
Yeah.
yourself
Even if
that
someone
costs
did you
you.
bad, you
Don't
let
worry, you
them.
let it,
Yeah.
you did some things that caused that action to happen to you.
Right.
Always. Now, a lot of us don't account for that action. We only account for the reaction of the person or whatever the person has
Yeah.
done. So first of all, if you're on your journey to healing, you first need to be accountable for your mistakes.
Right.
So accept it, know it, and then now lead yourself into healing. Okay, I'm going to now accept that I fucked up. I'm going to
Yeah.
accept that, oh, I did something so bad. I was mean, or I was greedy, or I was
Mm-hmm.
stupid, or I was naive, or I pretended, or I lied. You need to get to that place.
Yeah.
And then you can now heal. Now, what is the hardest part of your own healing process so far?
I think the hardest part of my healing process is forgetting that such a thing happened because I feel like I have a way of when I'm by myself, I can never lie to myself, right? So if I need to have a conversation with someone beside me, I might not be as transparent as possible, but I love to tell myself the truth. I hit myself with it very hard that I even exaggerate the matter sometimes. So I have a way of accepting that, okay, probably I was wrong or whatever, whatever. But the only thing there is that forgetting that such a thing ever happened is really difficult because it keeps replaying in your head. It keeps replaying in your head. And if, for instance, what led to the traumatic incident was me being open and free is even most painful because I wouldn't forget that such a thing happened, and then I would always regret that I did this thing. I gave room for this thing to happen. So it's usually the regret and not being able to forget it. Once I forget, which almost never happens, but once I've accepted the gone, as in it has balanced in my spirit that this thing happened, but the rest is history.
So personally, I
Yeah.
don't think that forgetting an incident or a trauma helps you heal. It
Yeah.
doesn't.
Okay.
And you would not heal from it as long as you try to forget it, because trying to forget it will not happen.
Yeah.
It can't be forgotten.
When
So
it's
what
fresh,
will
it just
happen
hits
is so
crazy.
what will happen is you would have to find a way to
Yeah.
accept that it happened, and you don't forget. It is there.
Yeah.
It happened. And it happened for a reason. You know why it happened. You were
Mm-hmm.
aware while it was happening. It just
Yeah.
hit different because maybe the turnout wasn't exactly what you thought it would turn out to be.
Mm-hmm.
So you now get to experience another part. But forgetting it doesn't help you heal at all. As a matter of fact, you keep holding on to the idea of, oh, maybe I shouldn't have. Let me just, so that in the next time,
Yeah.
the thing is, the lesson you haven't even learned from it. You're trying to
Yeah.
throw it away. Let me throw it away. Let me throw it away. But it can never go. It will always still be there. You have to come to terms with it. You have to come to
Yeah.
terms with your mistake, acknowledging it, and living with the idea that, oh, I really did fuck up, and I have to still love myself still with that. And it's not at the expense of the other person. Oftentimes, when we're trying to say, oh, I love myself, it's usually at the expense of someone else. But you should be able to have
Yeah.
enough love for
For
other
your
people as well as yourself. You should be able to grow that kind of love and that kind of state of mind where you don't hate yourself regardless of your mistakes, and you are aware of these mistakes. Now, one of the things that I find very helpful is when I'm able to say to myself that, oh, this thing really did happen. I'm
yeah.
aware that it happened, but given the same situation with what I knew then, I probably would make the same mistake. So now let me pick my learning from here and know that going forward, now with what I know, I would never make such a mistake again.
But I think is good. I love to suffer
Suffer in what way?
like heartbreaking things. These
So
things
so
I
so so
I
wait,
like
so
when they
wait.
happen to me.
So is it fair to say that because when you were narrating, you were
Yeah.
saying that you are so hard on yourself that you even put extra. So is it fair to say that sometimes you orchestrate the things to make you suffer
No.
so that
And
you can now,
when I say I
yeah.
can even exaggerate the issue is like if maybe I just let someone step on my foot, I can tell myself that I can maybe translate it to myself like it was more than just a step on the
That's what
leg.
I'm saying.
That
That's
this thing that this
exaggerating.
person did, you did it well.
That's
You have
exaggerate.
suffered me. Do you understand?
That means I
It's
was
like
right.
no
Don't
matter
worry.
what the
You guys
situation
know.
is, I like when I suffer something because things I suffer, even if I have to go through that same episode again, it's not going to be the same way. You cannot get me in one particular way more than twice. So a lot of things have happened to me, and these things have happened so frequently and so without even caring. It doesn't even ask for your permission. These crazy things just happen.
So
And
wait, so
I've
hang on.
learned to
Don't you
understand
think
that
don't you think that there's something you should change if things keep happening in a way that you don't want
is
it to?
okay, so there are certain things you can change and there are certain things you cannot change. For things that are changeable, of course, it's very normal or sane for you to look into yourself and try to make adjustments for that, right? But for things you cannot change, I'm particular about things you cannot change. For things you cannot change, when you keep having issues surrounding this same thing, you need to program your mind for the worst at every time. Like, I'm always on my defense, right? Which is not how it's supposed to be, but I've come to terms with myself that it's my reality. So I need to be on my defense. That doesn't mean that I would just walk up to someone and be acting crazy, but then I'm ready for your crazy, right?
But so if you say that there's some things that you can't change, which I
Yeah.
absolutely agree that there's some
Yeah.
things, but do you feel like these things are based on the outside or within?
It's usually the outside. It's usually
So,
the
so
outside. It's not anything inside. I think you
so what I
can
feel
kind of tweak that, don't you think?
exactly, you're supposed to be able to change that, but you know where you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that there's just some things on the outside, so
No,
it
there are
kind
also
of
some
feels
things on the
like
inside you can't change though. But like,
no, you can,
there are particular things you actually can change.
like your character.
Yeah, your character. You can't necessarily change your character. When I say your character disposition, it's from the inside to the outside.
But you know that you can have a better manners versus if you didn't
No,
realize. So those are the
manners.
things I'm saying about change. You can
Yeah, yeah,
change
you
that
can change your manners.
very
You
well.
can
You can
change.
have a
It's
much
not going
better
to be easy,
manners.
but over
You can,
time you
yeah,
will get
you can
comfortable
teach yourself
doing right
to be
things.
much more less defensive.
Yeah.
You can. So those things are within also. So because it kind of feels like you're trying to say is outside world that's causing everything. But you need to, that's back to
But
taking
I think my
accountability.
major problem in life, which is not a problem because as I would keep repeating that now I'm like my heart is not even strong. I wasn't even born to have a strong heart. But like I've just gotten so immune to things people say and things people do. Like I automatically
Important.
don't expect you to be sane. Like meeting someone for the first time, I don't expect you to be sane. I don't expect you to have manners. I don't expect you to be respectful. I don't expect you to be anything. Zero expectations. You know what I expect? Everything wrong.
You see,
For
so
real.
now
I expect
now
everything wrong. And it makes me very ready for you. So, I mean, it goes to show that I think from everything I go through, I really do learn these things.
so you have a lot of healing to do, in my
I
opinion.
learned these things.
You do have a lot of healing
In what
because
aspect? There's nothing for me to heal from.
that really means
There's nothing for me to heal from.
that even confirms that you
Currently. No,
really
no, no.
do need
Currently where I
healing.
am.
Don't
Currently where I
worry.
am because I'm someone who is very about my mental health. There's nothing for me to heal from currently.
Don't worry
Nothing.
about it. Don't
You can
worry
only heal
about it.
from what affects you.
Don't worry. No.
You can only heal from what affects you.
No.
If you've not identified something as problem enough, like somebody could actually be burning my house and then I don't even know that my house is on fire. I honestly can't care less. You know? I can't care until I realize that this house they burn. Oh.
Because
Then
wait,
you now identify that as a problem that you now need to heal from. There's nothing I'm healing from.
don't worry. That's
Unless maybe
that's all
something
I have
new
to. No, no,
happens.
no. It's not
Unless maybe
about you.
something new
So
happens.
you cannot live continuously with the idea that everyone that stands in front of you is coming to say something crazy, so you have to always be you can't. That needs healing. So that's what I mean when I say that you really do need to, but you might choose to argue with that and
Nah.
later you will find out that
No, 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 no,
that is
no.
not a
But you're saying
disposition
it like,
that is even healthy for
yeah,
even
you're
you.
saying
And
it
that's what I
like,
meant when I'm like, you still have some healing to
good.
do.
I understand what you're saying.
Everybody has
In
some
the
healing
particular
to
thing you're
do.
saying, is making a lot of sense. But you're saying it
Everybody.
like I randomly meet people and then someone says hi and I'm like, which one be hi? I don't know if you
That's
understand what I
not, you
mean.
said something,
It's
and
not
I'm
that
just
type. Like I'm
saying that's not what
ready,
I'm trying to
but you
say.
need to do something. Like I'm looking at you like it's like I have my bullets fully
So
loaded
you
in my
said to me,
gun.
you said
And you
that
just
when
need
you
to move
meet
funny.
somebody, you don't expect the
I don't
person
expect
to
anything good from
think.
them.
That's what I'm saying. Having such an expectation needs healing, is what I'm saying. You shouldn't even have any, like, I personally,
Yeah.
generally, I don't have any
Okay, so
expectation.
guess what?
I'm
On
not
this show, I
expecting
just
any
realized
negative.
that there's
I'm not
something I should
expecting
heal
any
from,
positive. You do have some
which is
healing
what
to
you
do.
just said. No, it's what you
Yeah,
just said. I
that's
just
what I'm saying.
realized.
You really do have some. I even still have some healing to do
Yeah.
for my own self. But that's because everyone is on this journey of how to live better, how to
Yeah.
have a happier life. And in the process of having to have a happier life, you need some healing so that you can let go of certain things. I don't expect any form of negativity or positivity from a new person. I don't even expect anything at all. I don't expect any, I just expect respect, and that's all. Because I will give you that and I will expect to get it.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. Well,
Yeah.
I hope you guys have been able to pick a thing or two dealing with traumas, and I'm sure that you guys could already feel the energy in here. It is unique to you as an individual. No two persons have the same healing process, but one thing is for sure. In your process of healing, you need to first be accountable and then accept the situation. And the secret is not in trying to forget, it's trying to live with the idea that this thing
Yeah.
happened. This trauma is also part of you. You know how they always say, like, your scars aren't meant to be erased because they're not meant to be forgotten. They kind of shape you into the person that you are and the person that
Yeah.
you become in the future. So until next week, it has been amazing on
Just
Just
my
My POV.
POV.